So, making this video, as you can see, I have the Pro Scale Light Kit. Boom. Hit the brakes, and turn on. Ready? Boom. But we're also running a Fusion Pro 2300. Actually, just installed it. It's gonna be in this video. But here's how to get your lights to work without having to stock ESC. Enjoy. So we're gonna make a little video here on my high trail, which you'll see in a second. I currently am running the Quick Run Fusion 1800. Well, Black Friday special, upgrading to the 2300 Fusion Pro, which, just so you know, does not come with this card at all. But my 1800 did, so I didn't buy one. I think if you do buy one, it's like 20 bucks, I think. I don't know. I didn't have to buy one. So I already have one here. So I get a lot of questions all the time, or I see it on Facebook. How do you keep your Pro Scale Light Kit when you swap to this? Because you lose the wiring for the motor sense. And then you lose your connector here. Well, here's one way to do it if you run Traxxas batteries. Here's the part number there. What this will do is go into, this is actually a Traxxas connector. Is it this one? No, I think you need the other side. I have to double check, but this goes, it basically just taps into where these terminals are on this back side. But I think it's on the other, I think it's on battery side. I'd have to double check. And it just touches those two little wires right there. Just touch them terminals and boom, you get your battery power. What I do, and I'll show you on my on the 1800, because I'm obviously going to pull it out. I strip back the wiring on your power wires here, almost by the connector. Just strip it back a little bit, and I cut this connector off, and I feed that through the wire, wrap it around, and put some heat shrink on it. That's actually, that method there, when you put this wire through the old wire and wrap it around, I actually learned that from when I worked at a Ford dealership. That's how they had us install their factory remote starters. So that method is tried and true, works amazing. Like I said, I'm actually just opening this now. Once I get it open, I'll show you what's all in here, and then I'll get the car out. I do have to swap connectors because I'm gonna put Traxxas connectors on it because I run Traxxas batteries. So I'm gonna take off the connector that comes with here, solder on the Traxxas connector, and we'll go from there. That's what it looks like when you open the box. Super simple. See if we can get this out with one hand. Not very gracefully, but there it is there. Now, like I said, it's your same thing as always. Receiver box, your new on switch, and then your power battery. Like I said, I chop these off because I don't use these connectors. I don't use those batteries. It does come with these guys here. They're meant to, one is actually, this one here is a just an extension for the receiver, which you actually do use it if you have your receiver box in the stock location. This cable here is actually that cable there, and what that'll do is you'll pull this guy out, plug it into there, and then you can program this. Now, since that's the 1800 one, it's a little different. They give you the sticker for this one because that one's only good for, what is it, 9 features, where this one is 13 features. Maybe I'll go through them. I know there's a bunch of videos on how they work. But yeah, so like I said, I'm gonna chop this off, get that Traxxas connector on there, and yeah, we'll go. This is what I was talking about. This is the 6541X which is your battery tab. If you look, those are wired in there. This would be coming off. This would be right here, right? So what this does is literally slides in there, and it's hard to see, but it would literally touch the terminals. Obviously, there's no terminals in here, and then there's another piece. There's the directions, like you can see right there. So it's just tapping in to get your thing. Now what I do is I'm going to cut this off here. If you look, I stripped back the center of the wire, and I put a little hole right there. Didn't break the wires. I mean, obviously you see a couple strands broken, but just poke 2 little holes in the center of it. Just pick, and then you just strip this back, feed that through, wrap it around, and then heat shrink it. It's like I said, that's how Ford had us do remote starters on all their vehicles. If it can work on a remote starter for whatever, it can work for LED lights for this. Like I said, I'll strip the back of these off, and we'll have, you know, put the Traxxas connectors on. So I have, what do I got here? 3070. You got 2 connectors there. Boom, nice and easy. So let me do that, and I'll get back. Now if you look, it's that simple. Feed it through, twist it through. If you want, you can solder it on. You don't have to. It's just for LED lights, nothing crazy. That, or even if you run the winch off it, I mean, it's literally you just feed it through, wrap it around real nice. It tightens the wires back up. And then I got some heat shrink. I'm gonna slide this heat shrink on, melt it on. But you know how to do that. I'm not gonna show you how to do heat shrink. I'll get that on there, strip the end of these, start soldering on this fucking Traxxas connector. So look how clean and simple it is. Just boom. Obviously red to red, black to black. You run it in there, put some heat shrink on. I'm gonna do a little, I ran out of lighter fluid. My lighter's dead, so I tried to heat it up the best I could with actually the soldering iron. But solder those connector on, or the connectors I should say, and little tabs, put them in. Now what I will do is, because I left it a little long, I'll wrap this right here in electrical tape, make it look nice and pretty. But she's ready to go in the car, so I guess I'm gonna go get the car here in a minute. I got it out in the truck here, so I wanted to get all this done before I did all that. And it's going to be an easy swap, obviously, it's because, you know, there's a 1800 in there, but I'll show you what I did for the wiring, and it'll be gold. Alright, so here we are. Like I said, got an 1800 in there already. Don't mind these butt connectors. My soldering iron broke, and I had to swap the connectors. Either way, I made that work for what at the time being. But, excuse me, like I said before, here's what I did. You run your, I think these are JST connectors or something like that. I think that's what they're called. I don't know. But you just do like I did before. Wrap it around. Boom. Because normally your ESC sits here, and you know you have that connector there coming off the ESC. And then when you wire this in with the factory brushed motor, what you're supposed to do is you get a wiring to go from here, and it would come all the way here to where you plug your motor in, the bullet connectors, and that would tell, and then this box here, the RX in, would go, where the hell does that go? Oh, this would tie into your throttle receiver, coming from your motor to your receiver, your throttle connector. And those two together would tell you, or tell the truck, if you're reverse, forward, whatever. What I did straight from the beginning is I threw those, I did not use these at all. Because if you buy the Max Link cable, which actually comes with most of them, and it runs from here into your receiver, I'll pull the box here in a second, I'll show you where it goes. And then it makes it so you can run the app. Well, little did I know, I actually ran this motor sense when I had the brush motor. So I put the lights on before I even used the car. And I blew up the brush motor literally the first day. So I did the same thing, I freaked out. I'm like, hey, where do these go? And no one knew a thing. and I happened to just squeeze the trigger when I had this motor installed. I did this, I did that, had that, and I had this already installed. This is what I did from the beginning. But these weren't hooked up, and I just happened to hit reverse, and reverse lights came on. So I realized you didn't need this. And I did a little more research, found a couple other people, like hidden posts, said you don't need those. Alright, so like I was saying, so here's your max link in. Runs under here, comes all the way out, runs under there. If you look, it comes in here, and it's right here on your TQI TSM receiver. Now, I'm sure it has to be a TSM, just because that tells it if it's going forward, backwards, left, right. That makes your turn signals work. Everything works running this cable. So the max link cable is what you need to do this. And you don't have these two here. And it goes to the end, obviously from there, comes out here, in here. If you wanted the telemetry or whatever it is, tells you your GPS and everything, you would run the same cable. Or no, it's a max link double cable. So like this is a wide connector. You would run from out here and then to the telemetry, wherever you put it, would be the in there. Then this has to be first. Like I said, it tells what to do, where it's going. So like I said, we're going to pull this motor off, swap the spur gear, or swap the pinion over. You know, pull all this out. I don't need that. Look at that. Well, oh, that's a little tighter than I thought it was going to be. Yeah, I'll pull that out here in a second. There it goes. So boom, look at that. So, like I said, don't mind the butt connectors. My soldering iron broke, so I had to do that. I actually just bought a new soldering iron tonight so I could do this the right way. Like I said, I run these Traxxas batteries. Some people hate them. I don't mind them. I use the shit out of them. I use this 3S for this. Same batteries I run in my E-Revo. So yeah, like I said, it's super easy. It just goes in there, and you don't need the wire that jumps the throttle. I think there's a throttle here, and it like tees in and does all this other stuff. You don't need that. You just need the max link cable. Throw this out, leave that plug in, and then when you start adding stuff down here, this all changes everything. All these do different functions. Before, I think it's 7, when you get rock lights, if you plug it into 7, they stay on all the time. As soon as you turn the battery on, so as soon as you turn the ESC on, whether if you're running stock ESC or you're running the Hobbywing, rock lights stay on. If you put it on these, if you run 1, 3, 4, or 5, it runs off of when you turn on headlights. So you hit mode once, boom, you got low beam, hit mode again, you got high beam, hit it again, everything's off. I want it to be where if it's daytime, I want it to be realistic. I drive around with the lights off. Starts getting dark, boom, hit mode, turn the lights on. So I do have the bumper with the light. I'm actually pulling this bumper back off, putting the stock chrome bumper back on the brush guard. I don't like this. It doesn't look good with the high trail. But I did just install with the high trail don't mind it's on backwards, but there's the new Rollbar that just came in. I bed lined the bed and everything. It looks great. This just showed up yesterday. I can't believe how much I beat up this body, but that runs down there, comes through here. It's real nice. So we'll see how long before those lights break off, because they are just plastic. But there it is. So I'm gonna pull this motor out, get everything swapped over, and probably swap that bumper out here soon. So here we are with the two motors. Here's obviously the new Fusion Pro 2300. Like I said, don't mind this electrical tape. That's literally there. Just try to keep some debris out with the connector. I do it on all of them. Normally, I usually had it on this one, but I didn't do it on this one for some reason. Oh, because yeah, I just did this the other night because I had wire broke, whatever, and I didn't have any soldering iron. Anyway, so yeah, there they are. The new ones actually, if you take them, set them side by side, boom, it's actually just a hair bit shorter. Like I said, they're both 540 spec, and it's 2300, 1800. Just running the stock motor mount. Doing that, and then we're running the 10-tooth pinion because mine is a high trail. I should drop it down honestly because I'm not running 2.2 tires anymore. I'm running 1.9s. But yeah, so we're gonna swap this motor mount over, get the pinion on, and we can get this motor in and get it programmed. And unfortunately, we got nowhere really to test it, and I can move it back and forth, but you know, crawling at night here, maybe on the way home in the morning. Don't believe me. You look, no motor sense wires, no nothing. Ready? So we go forward, hit the brakes. Oh, and there's reverse lights. Forward, hit the brakes, reverse lights. And then, boom, turn signal. Turn signal. I honestly never really turned them on. I usually just leave them turned off. But they're there. Like I said, you don't need that motor sense wiring to go up in there. Oh, damn. Anyways, well, I'm going to pull this bumper off, get the other bumper back on. But there it is. There's the little lights from the new Rollbar. But like I said, look at that. No motor sense wiring, no RX in. Fusion Pro 2300 installed. Working like this. Works like a champ. Look at it. Look how simple that is. Right there. Like I said, I run Traxxas connectors. Again, this tape is just there to keep debris out of there. This side I don't care about because they're batteries. I'm going to get new ones eventually because they're going to go bad. But I like to keep the debris out of here. I do play with it in the mud and whatnot. Well, that's the reason it broke in the first place. Notice this. I do run. I mounted the TRX6 rock lights right there. So, because if you look, if you don't have that light, you have that black spot. With that light, boom. Now, obviously, it's glaring off the desk, but it's so much brighter. So there it is there. Got the 18 out. Probably going to put the 18 in my Sen 450. And, yeah, everything's working. So, I'll catch you guys on the next one. Hopefully, the weather gets a little warmer somewhat, and I can take this thing out and test it with the new, where are they at here? Just got my 1.9 RC D wheels, bead locks with some BFG crawlers. That just has a little bit of mud on them from, I was trying to use it at my buddy's house yesterday when I took his dog out. His dog was not a fan. Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's his dog. Oh, bastard. So, you know what the deal. So I'll catch you guys later.